So Leo, good afternoon. I haven't seen you for a little while, but step forward, and I've no doubt from today you and I are going to be chatting more often. So let's talk specifically about Child Q. Can you tell me why you and the Nation of Islam are down here today?
Big up StreetMic.
Big up StreetMic, long time.
Big up StreetMic. Give him the thumbs up, like, comment, share, and also click the notification bell so when he goes live, you'll be able to be there.
Well, we had to be here, brother, because, yet again, we have a situation where it's been exposed that the police and the various institutions, in particular, we're talking about this particular school, but the school system in general, really has no respect for black people, and it's been demonstrated once again in the treatment of this young girl. And, again, there's a lot of outrage, of course, right now. A lot of our people are upset, and the people are expressing that hurt and that pain. But as I've always said, brother, this will not stop by us protesting and making noise periodically when these things happen. What has to happen is that we have to become a proactive people who pool our resources, come together, build community, build families, build nation, and therefore disallow anybody, whether it be the police or the school system, from taking liberties with our people. But as long as we continue to try to, in a sense, force ourselves into a system that was never designed for us, never built for us, they recognize this. And with the police in particular, brother, I hear people sometimes trying to shout to the police, shame on you, shame on you. You can't shame a man who has no shame. You can't shame a people who don't feel shame, because at the end of the day, what the police did to this young girl, and bear in mind that these were two female police officers who did this, so whether they are male or female, they have the same mentality, which is about humiliating black people and trying to put us in a place that they believe has been designated for us, which is our degradation and destruction, like what they did to us over the 400 years of our enslavement. So it's not going to change until we change it. It's not going to change until we recognize that as a people we have to do what other people take for granted. That's why you have in London, in every major city up and down this country, Chinatown. That's why you have Asian people who have whole communities that is just Asian. Whether they are Muslim, whether they're Hindus, whether they're Sikhs, the Asians come together, they pool resources, and they make sure that they dominate the infrastructure and they own things. And the song says, God helps the child who has his own. As long as we don't have our own, but we keep going into various arenas and going onto various platforms and going into negotiations, but with too long empty hands, we will always continue to be disrespected. In order for us to demand or command respect, we must have our own. But we are so busy trying to integrate ourselves into somebody else's reality while disintegrating among ourselves, that's why they can continue to take liberties, because you can't respect a people like that. We've got to respect ourselves. We've got to love ourselves. We as black people have got to come back together and recognize that we are our own best friend, and stop trying to befriend our 400-year-old open enemy who cannot change, because the leopard never changes his spots. He's just doing what he's doing by his nature.
Last time you and I had a detailed conversation, you told me about the fact that you were working in partnership with children of a similar age as Child Q. Tell me how that is going.
It's going very, very beautiful, brother. We run what's called the WYLA, which is the West London Young Leaders Academy. We take the children, both male and female, from around the age of 8 up to at least 16, and we try to instill within those children the facts of who they are. And we try to educe, which is where you get the word education from, to educe that which is already inherent in them, their God-given talents and their God-given skills, and we try to bring out of the young people their leadership qualities and their leadership potential. And the WYLA is going very, very beautiful. We are now in West London, and we're also in Lewisham, and we're in other parts of the country. And ultimately, we don't want to just settle with having a Saturday academy or a Saturday school. What we want is a brand new educational paradigm where we take on board our children's education. Because, brother, what's happening when we're putting our children into these schools, it's like the equivalent, to use this kind of analogy, of a cat putting its kittens into a school for dogs. These schools were never designed to educate black children. And even though we're talking about child Q, that's one child that we have learned about from 2 years ago, but in reality, the vast majority of black children are being traumatized on a daily basis within these establishments, because these establishments were never designed to bring these children. Believe me, when you see black children in the UK and you see them doing well, when you see black people who do well, it is not because of the system. It's because of the inherent genius and survivability of that individual that they succeed in a place where they were never, ever meant to succeed.
Thank you very much for that. I'm going to ask you two more important points. The first one is going to be about Sasha Johnson, and the second one is going to be about Speaker's Corner. Let's talk specifically about Sasha. As you know, we work very closely with Sasha, and
You're doing a great work, you're creating awareness, you're
Big up StreetMic.
a trial collapsed a few weeks ago. We know why. What are your views on the outcome of that trial and what needs to be done to secure a possible conviction for those at the end of the day who committed a heinous crime?
I think one of the things that's important to remember, brother, that when Stephen Lawrence was murdered at that bus stop, within a few hours the police had names. People were coming to them and identifying the perpetrators. It was 20 years later before two of them were finally convicted, and in that time the Lawrence family was destroyed. Do you understand? It was a war of attrition just to get that little piece of justice out of a system like this, because the Metropolitan Police is corrupt to its core, and they never ever wanted to prosecute those people. Now, according to this so-called collapse trial the other day, where 4 individuals were identified as being the potential killers or perpetrators of that shooting, according to my understanding, it was said that there were some secret elements of that trial that could not be told to the public.
That's correct.
From the police as to why that trial didn't go forward and those people were ultimately released. So just the fact that we are told that we live in a democracy where everything is supposed to be transparent, but the reason why the trial collapsed and those 4 couldn't be prosecuted is a secret, is an oxymoron. Doesn't make any sense.
Can I give you my opinion, Brother Lee, on why the trial collapsed? As you know, I was deeply involved with certain things and I know certain things. I've been to number 35 Concert Road where she was shot. We were told originally that 3 of the alleged perpetrators, they were stopped somewhere in Brixton with a gun in their car. If they had a gun in their car, which they believe Sasha Johnson was shot by, that means there would be forensic evidence, DNA evidence, ballistic evidence, and I can't see how a trial would collapse if that was the real gun. But I had the opportunity to speak with one of the fathers of one of the people on the trial, and he said that weapon was planted. And from what I'm gathering, one of the reasons it was in secret because there was no evidence. That evidence was false evidence and it could not be made public. That's what I was told.
Let me just say this to you, brother. One of the other reasons why it could be secret is because quite often what happens is that in the black community we have many informers. We have many people who have infiltrated the black community, but they're not working on our behalf, they're working on behalf of the police. Or they're working on behalf of MI5 or MI6 because they're now recruiting big time within the black community in order to get blacks to spy on blacks. And what could have happened was that one of these individuals or more of these individuals could have been undercover in some department, which is why it's now secret and in camera in the court, and they can't reveal that this person was possibly an informer working for the police. Hence, when they murdered Malcolm X, for instance, they captured one of the murderers immediately outside of the ballroom where he was killed, and it was reported in the newspapers that the person was arrested, captured. 2 people were arrested, but the next day, one of them disappeared completely from the scene. And you never heard anything else about that person. Why? Because that person was working for the FBI at the time when he was captured as one of the perpetrators of the killing of Malcolm X. And so this is the type of world that we live in, brother. And as far as Sasha Johnson is concerned, again, you're talking about a young sister. I believe she was 29 years old at the time when we were with 2 children, when we were very active. And you know, again, this is one of our best. This is one of the young sisters who has taken it upon herself to be an activist on behalf of black people in terms of our liberation. And you know, brother, I'm telling you, I've got to be completely honest with you. I don't believe in coincidence. Okay, and
nor do I.
Even though it's been reported as some possible accidental shooting,
an assassination,
they were looking for somebody else. I don't buy that. You see, it's too much of a coincidence that a young sister with that level of profile and what was coming out of her mouth should all of a sudden be shot in the head by accident. See, and
by one bullet.
One bullet, and my heart, brother. I'll be honest with you, my heart is broken for that sister and for her children, because from what I could see of the image that we saw of her, that injury is extremely severe, and I don't know if our sister has any kind of future in terms of, you know, what you might call quality of life. So all we can do is pray that the Creator, because a brother was talking to me earlier on and he was explaining how a brother who had lost 2/3 of his brain, but ultimately was still able to regain speech and things like that. So we know that the Creator is able to restore. And so our prayers go out to Sasha and to the family and to her children, and we pray that she will make some form of recovery, that she can have some quality of life going forward.
Final question. As you know, I'm not scared to ask deep questions. Let's talk about Speaker's Corner. People are missing you down there, brother Leo. You know, I've got a profile down there every week and I've been down there filming you. You haven't been there for a while. People are asking for you, and you got some of the big names down there. They're saying brother Leo has run. What's happening with Leo in Speaker's Corner?
I'm a Caribbean man, brother. I was born on the island of Jamaica. Me like summer. So we're going to be there. We'll be there in the sun. We'll be there on those bright sunny days. We used to go there all the time, rain or shine. We don't do that no more. But we will, inshallah, God willing, be returning to Hyde Park when the weather improves, and you know, a little bit later on in 2022, because there's a lot that we need to say down there. And every time we leave Hyde Park, weeds grow up, and so we need to go back with our machetes and clear the weeds.
Thank you for that, and I'm confident when you do return, you will be calling StreetMic, but it has been an opportunity to see you again. I haven't seen you for a few months. You haven't called me. And, hey, listen.
I've been watching you.
I know you watch me. I'll send you stuff. But listen, Leo, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to interview you. It is always a pleasure. And when I saw the Nation of Islam down here today, I felt proud because I know you are always on the streets. It doesn't take an event like this for the Nation of Islam to show a presence, but you know the importance of you showing that presence here today. And I thank you very much. And I've no doubt everyone will know you are here. You guys have presence. It is so important, and you do a lot for the community. And all I can say is thank you very much, sir. And I look forward to that phone call when you're going to Speaker's Corner.
Praise God. Look forward to it, brother. Thank you.
Big up StreetMic.
Big up StreetMic, long time.
Big up StreetMic. Give him the thumbs up, like, comment, share, and also click the notification bell so when he goes live, you will be able to be there.
Keep on doing the great work. You're creating awareness. You're
Big
Big
up
up StreetMic.
Big
Big
up
up StreetMic. Click your notification bell.